Morning.
This little building right here we call the Greasy Spoon. Some of our vehicles run off the veggie oil, and that's where we process that. See, that open door is the restroom you guys can use. Here too. If anybody need any water or to use the restroom before we start?
Okay.
Alright, that spigot right there is where you can refill your water bottles, or if I could get you guys a cup or something if you guys get thirsty.
Okay.
But yeah, we'll start down here at the Ambassador. So these three guys you see right here, these are the ambassador wolves. These are wolves that are going to be taken around the country to schools and other facilities to basically educate the public that, you know, wolves and wolf dogs don't make the greatest pets. These ones right here, we utilize them for the public because they are more social than a lot of the wolves we have here. As we go through our tour, you'll see how timid some of them are versus these guys that get, you know, happy when humans are around. So this is the perfect time to explain to you the difference between wolves and wolf dogs, characteristically, physically. You guys see Abraham here, right? You guys think he's more wolf or more dog? More wolf? The white one? He's actually mostly dog.
How is that for dog?
You guys see Nashira there. She's mid-content wolf dog hybrid. So she splits the gap between that big fella back there you guys see in Zeb. He's going to be a pure timber wolf. You'll see that Zeb definitely has a bigger head than Abraham, right? He's going to have bigger paws than Abraham. He's going to be taller and lanker than Abraham. Throughout the years, you guys will see with many different breeds, from Chihuahua all the way up to a Rottweiler, they're all descendant of wolves, right? You'll see that dogs will start to get to more barrel-chested, and that's for like pulling and doing stuff like that, right? But these wolves here, you know, if Zeb stood up, sitting this tall, I can push his elbows together, you know, and that's because they're endurance runners, right? What do they do with their, when they're hunting? Run to the point of exhaustion, right? Yeah. Abraham up there, he was found walking the streets of Salt Lake City. He was on the run from the animal patrol for a couple of months, and then when they finally got him, he had really big paws and a really big head, and he was really, really timid. So they pretty much thought he was a wolf, right? He got here, we thought he was a wolf. Grew up, grew into his paws, grew into his head. And now we have an Abraham. If they would stand up, you would see the size difference between him and Zeb. But Zeb there, he was actually bred for Twilight movies. His uncle actually starred in there as the Twilight Saga as Sam, I think. Anyways, yeah. So after CGI and stuff like that, there wasn't really a need for him anymore. So there's no need for a wolf in Hollywood. Where's he gonna go, you know? End up in a place like this.
Wow.
And then Nashira, she's only a couple years old. So you guys will be able to go in there and meet them, actually see the size difference of between a wolf and wolf dog. It'll be really easy to spot. You guys wanna see some more wolves?
Yeah.
Cool. about 10 years old. You see, if Zeb was standing up, you'd see that Iliamna is a little bit bigger than he is. He's going to be taller, he's going to have a little bit bigger paws, they're going to be webbed. But one big characteristic trait between him and a timber wolf is their ears. What do you guys see when you see Iliamna's ears? Are they big or are they small?
Oh,
Small. Why do you guys think that would be? He's up in the Arctic. He's to conserve body heat, less skin mass, just less frostbite. He's also going to be bigger, and that's only because really he's bigger up there, right? He's going to be hunting musk oxen and moose and caribou, as opposed to timber wolves down here that are hunting elk and deer, which are smaller, right? I talked about his paws being webbed and his legs being longer. Why do you guys think that would be? Swimming and snowshoes. He was bred a place called Bear Country Wild Safari Park. You guys ever heard of it? No. During the recession, they had 2 accidental litters that they really couldn't take care of anymore. They asked us to take a couple of the puppies, and we said, yeah. Ended up getting all 8 sent here. You guys are familiar with the parvovirus? Parvovirus is a canine disease that dehydrates a puppy until death, pretty much. And they weren't immunized before they were sent here, so 3 of them ended up dying. Iliamna was a little bit too big for it to affect him in too much of a manner, so he didn't really get affected as much as some of the other puppies that were able to. You guys have any questions about Iliamna at all? No? Alright, I'll go show you guys some more wolves. Got some bins we could pop down here on the wolf bridge. 5 different enclosures. That girl you guys are looking at down there, she's a wolf dog hybrid mixed with some shepherd. She was purchased by a man that wanted to get a wolf dog as a guard dog, a guard wolf dog. He brought her home, and she was actually, you know, the complete opposite of a guard dog. She was very submissive. She was rolling on her back. She was peeing on herself, jumping on the furniture, just really, really wolfy, wild characteristics. He didn't really know what to do with her, so he put her on a chain in his backyard. A little bit after that, he took some of his buddies over to show him his new wolf dog, and she delivered a fear bite to him. Wolves have jaws powerful enough to break a femur of a cow, right? But they also have a jaw soft enough that they could pick up their litter and not kill their puppies, right? So they have great control. It's like us in our hands. They use their mouth as their hands. So a fear bite isn't meant to break skin, it isn't meant to do anything. It's just meant to say, hey, get away from me. I'm not comfortable with this. In his head, it was, oh,
Sorry.
Yeah. So fear bites.
Body construction is totally different.
What was it?
Their body construction is totally different. You can just tell how they're narrow set.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, so when he had bit her, he had basically said, she can't break skin, I'm gonna shoot her, you know? No point in having a guard dog that can't break skin, right? Planned on shooting her. A neighbor knew about this place, and that's how she got sent here, fortunately. When we first got her, she was super, super timid, did not like people at all, obviously. And then through some desensitization and using pressure and release and mirroring these animals, our executive director's wife, Tracy, was actually able to go in with her. And if Soleil would run, she would run. Not necessarily at Soleil, but just focusing her energy on running. And if Soleil would turn right, she would turn right, left. And then once Soleil stopped and was like, hey, what are you doing? She'd walk out. Did that over and over. Eventually, you know, it took 30 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, and then she was leashing Soleil. So, she's showing off for you guys. If you guys turned around, you guys can see Apollo in that back enclosure walking across. You see how big he is?
Yeah.
Really like one of the wolfiest wolves we have here. He was sold on Craigslist as a Husky Shepherd mix at a Spokane to a guy in Boulder that was a dog trainer for North Alaskan breeds like Malamutes and Huskies and whatnot. He brought him home at about 4 weeks old, was bottle feeding him, and he's like, this is a wolf, this isn't a dog, and then asked us to take him. Farah is his partner. That's Zeb's sister. Do you guys remember Zeb from the Ambassadors enclosure? She was also bred for Twilight movies. Didn't get the part, but yeah. So most of the wolves, when they're puppies, we put them in with the Ambassadors. The Ambassadors will raise them and show them the ropes, but it's pretty frequent that at 2 to 3 years old, these wolves and wolf dogs start to get this wild behavior, right? Everything is cute when it's a baby. You guys would hold a baby lion if you had the opportunity, but would you hold a full-grown lion? Probably not, you know? About 2 to 3 years old, they start to become that adult, have that transition into wanting to be a dominant or submissive or however it be in the wolf structure, right? The Ambassadors had left for a few weeks. Rosie and Tiger up here that you see were being raised by the Ambassadors. And once they came back from tour, Rosie and Tiger were like, this is our house now, you guys gotta go. So to minimize the conflict between trying to choose an alpha and the pack, we just separate them. Same thing happened with Farah and Apollo, you know, just a couple of years. But what's funny is Zeb is still in that pack, right? After he was raised with his sister and Apollo. And that's because Zeb is, you know, mega. You guys familiar with what an alpha is? Every pack will usually have a mated alpha pair, male and female. And there's going to be Omega. The Omega is the opposite side of the spectrum. Just because Zeb is the biggest wolf in that enclosure with small Abraham, he just has the mentality that he's okay with being this uncle that stays back with the pack or with the pups while the pack hunts. He's okay with being picked on to de-escalate conflict within the pack. If two higher ranking wolves are having a problem with each other, as opposed to taking it out on each other, they just go pick on this Omega. You'll see him every morning just rolling on his back, getting beat up by Abraham and loving it, you know? Are you guys familiar with the effect that wolves had on the ecosystem in Yellowstone National Park?
No.
There's a riddle, and it is how wolves bring cold water to fish. Around the 30s, 1930s, was around the last time a wolf was in that area at all. The elk there didn't have another predator, right? So they were getting overpopulated, being able to do what they wanted. They were sitting by the water sources, eating all the saplings, or, eroding these rivers because they didn't have that root structure to hold these riverbanks tight. Eventually the beavers started to leave, and the water was getting more shallow. It was warming up, the fish were dying. The coyotes started getting overpopulated because they didn't have a natural predator as well, right? They were eating all the rabbits, all the squirrels, all this, the lynx left, the badgers left, the predator birds left, and songbirds also left. So we just, had this downfall in the ecosystem in Yellowstone for the, next 60 years until in 1995, they took 2 packs of 15 from Canada and put them into Yellowstone. Something interesting started to happen. Like we were talking in it earlier, how do wolves hunt? Run, right? They push things around. They make them not sit by the riverbanks and eat saplings that don't allow these trees to grow. But when these big animals run, what are they also doing?
Wearing themselves out.
Plowing holes into the ground, right? Yeah. Throwing dirt around, letting these seeds start to sow, start to aerate the soil. So these plants started coming back up. And wolves do one thing to coyotes, they're territorial, right? They kill them. Started taking that population down. So we started seeing rabbits come back and squirrels come back and predator birds and, all of these animals that had left. And that's called a trophic cascade. Trophic meaning energy level, right? Cascade, what do you guys think of when I say the word cascade?
One down or up.
How about like a waterfall?
Waterfall.
If you chop the top off of a waterfall, what happens?
No waterfall.
No more waterfall. And that's what the wolf is as the apex predator of that trophic cascade. You guys got any questions about that? No? Are you guys interested in seeing one of our growing domes? We got a couple of growing domes that we grow our own vegetables and stuff like that. It's pretty interesting. All right, cool. I'll take you guys down. You want to just head them down there?
Yeah, sure.
What do you think?
How y'all doing?
Pretty good, how are you?
Pretty good.
You guys want to do a quick visit? Sure.
If you guys want to go in, I'll be happy to show you. We don't train the wolves though. We train you guys. If you let the wolf chew on your face, you got a nice beard, they will love it. You would probably enjoy it. You look like you're a wild guy. But if they chew on your face, what's your instinct?
Predator.
Yeah, but if the wolf starts chewing on your face, what would you do?
Run.
Yeah, and if you run, what are they going to do?
Run.
Right. So have you ever taken anything away from a child?
No.
Does it work? No. You ever had anybody try to take stuff out of your hand?
Yeah.
Do you let them?
No.
You instinct, hold on. So wild animals don't use their paws. What do they use?
They use the jaw.
Yeah. So the only reason I say that, people kill animals every day because they're afraid of them. So really quick, I usually do 20 minutes to do this to show leadership. Do you know what you do? If you were the king and you walked into the room, are you going to look at anybody? If you were the king and you walked in the room with all the people, would you even look at anyone?
No.
You're too cool. If you were a rock and roll star and you walked on stage with 100,000 people, would you look at anyone?
No.
You'd look above them. You'd see everybody, but you don't look at any one person. That's peripheral vision. So that's how wild animals operate. They're always in their peripheral. And today we've become competitive. We don't make eye contact. We avoid each other. We now have technology. And when your head is down, I just had one of the boys walk in, he had his head down. The wolves think he's a monster. So that's all it takes is if you're ever around wild animals, keep that head up, keep in the peripheral. So when we walk in, don't look at them. If you make eye contact, as soon as you make eye contact, that's like, how you doing? They're going to jump on your shoulders. And you're big enough. You could have a wolf on your shoulders and you'd think it's fun, wouldn't you? If they jump on you, what do they do to little kids?
They squish them.
Yeah, exactly. So I take 5-year-olds in here. And if you let the wolves take stuff from you, they'll take stuff from kids. So we don't take anything loose. We leave our hats. If you have dark glasses on and they can't see your eyes, they're going to be afraid. If you have your glasses on your head, they'll steal them. if they take your glasses, do you get them back?
No.
No. And then after they shred your glasses, guess what they're going to be looking for?
More.
Yeah. So prescription glasses, you don't let a child rip those off. You don't let a child grab your arrowhead. You put your hand on the kid's hand, let the kid touch your camera, but you let him take it?
No.
If you hide it, what's the kid going to do?
Find it.
Yeah. So instinct is to walk in, head up, and just ignore them until you sit down. You notice everybody sat down until they greeted the wolf. And if you get 2 of them, you got to pet the right one and the left one at the same time. It's just like a child. If you hug one child and then hug the other child, they get jealous. You learn to hug both of them at the same time. If a wolf comes behind you, reach around and say hi. But their instinct is to shake hands. If you went to shake my hand and I pulled my hand away, how would you feel?
I feel
Kind of weird.
Yeah.
If you went to shake my hand and I slapped it, how would you feel?
kind of sad.
Insulted, yeah. So these guys don't shake hands, they sniff noses. So as soon as they come up, they're going to want to put their nose right on your nose. Just look at their eyes. Don't do that with a dog. Dogs are aggressive. But if you look at their eyes, they're going to lay their ears back and go, oh, you like me. If they really like you and they get in your face, they have to sniff your teeth. And of course, our instinct is, mm-mm. And if you keep your lips tight, they will nibble right on your lip until they pinch it. And then you're going to go, ah, and they sniff your teeth anyhow. So we don't train the wolves. If they don't want to come to us, they don't have to. But this is a really good time. And if you'll walk in, Dex, do you want to lead them and just walk over to the log by Ryan? Yeah. Just follow him in. Leave anything loose outside. You're welcome to bring your camera, but say hi first. Take your picture second. Yeah, and just drop. You can leave the necklace on. It's no problem. You can kind of tease them.
Okay.
You know, just like a little kid. We want you guys to be the trainers.
Okay.
So if they do come up to pull on your earrings, just like a child, put your hand right on the kid's hand. You let the kid touch the earrings, but you don't let them take them. Wolves use their chin. That's all. So let's go see if they'll say hi, and then we'll finish the tour. You might leave your purse on the table. Anything that leather is like food to them. And are your glasses prescription?
Yeah.
Okay. If you need to keep them on, do. If they come up and they get a little scared of your glasses and you can see okay, just slide them up a little bit so they can see your eyes. You got one wolf dog, and one musky dog.
We don't have enough room on this log. You guys can come back to this log.
Good day.
Hi, buddy.
Buddy. black one that just said hi to you on the end. She's the puppy, and now look at the size of the head of the one in front of you guys. And that's the wolf. You can just reach out, and the more you actually pet him and rub him, he likes to be scratched on his chest. Nice job getting both hands going.
We have 2 dogs at home. You have to pet them both.
So many people are so afraid of him that if you notice the brown one, he just laid his ears back at you guys, and basically all he said is you're a strong wolf, I'm not. And of course your instinct would be to push him away, and it'd be like me pushing you away in a handshake. I wouldn't understand what's wrong. Now look right at that big head. Turn your head around, look right at him. There you go. As soon as he made eye contact, he just said, "You're a big, strong wolf. I'm not. See you later." Most of the wolves here, if you walk in with them, they won't do this. They're too afraid. Good timing, Dax. We were just about ready to leave.
Nice smell those teeth.
Once we get working, they'll go to sleep. We're going to try to start a fire. You're going to look today, Dax, burning all the stuff. Eric, because you're down there tonight, maybe you guys can kind of close look.
I leave about noon.
Oh, that's it. Are you back tomorrow?
Friday morning.
Hair's coarser than a dog's too. Shedding winter coat. I'm guessing, right?
What?
Shedding the winter coat.
Yeah, summer.
Coming.
I think I'm gonna pick up meat Pueblo 9:30.
We need to talk with Trish. We need to have the food here tomorrow night. When we talked about it, we were going to have, it was tough.
It's not our dog, I'm saying.
Oh yeah, it smells stinking though.
You smell your dogs?
Yep.
Cool. What kind?
2 dachshunds and an American bulldog.
Nice.
Yes.
Of the Labrador who's wearing green fences.
I'm going to assume he's got it really good made up. If they need food Thursday night, we got to make sure we got it. And I think you can still bring back whatever's on your list. But we might.
This is so cool.
We'll talk today.
Okay.
And I should be able to talk to him if he comes out of town. And I'd asked him if he could stop and get everything. And he's like, look, I got a full pit job. I'll send you the full fire. I'll send you the actually ordered that food for it. But he kind of wanted us to pick up the rest of the stuff so he didn't have to. And I'm sure he'll stop and pick up.
Put your hand. Grab around. You want to say hi?
So how much you guys think that big black wolf is?
280.
How much you think the brown one is?
140.
I say 160.
Oh, not bad.
The rest of you guys agree, or?
No idea.
I think the black one would be about 185.
It's almost an average guess, 175, 180. Everybody thinks wolves are so big and bad. Big head, long legs, thick fur. The brown one weighs barely 70 pounds. Wow. The black one might weigh 110. And I've had many adults guess them at 200 to 300. But average size males just over 100, average size females just under 100. And you've heard of Arctic wolf and tundra wolf and timber wolf and buffalo wolf or Great Plains wolf and Mexican wolf. They're all nicknames for one wolf, the gray wolf. And if you're an Arctic wolf, you're 140 pounds, quite a bit bigger, because you have muskox meat. If you're a Mexican wolf, you're only 60 pounds, because you have little deer to eat. So the farther north you go, the bigger the prey, the bigger the wolf. And the farther south you go, the smaller the prey, the smaller the predator. And the big thing that wolves do different than a coyote is a coyote can't make a herd of elk run. Mountain lion can go through, might catch one, but they won't make that herd run big. And a bear, they're very, opportunistic. They seldom can catch an elk or a deer. But because the wolves can make an elk herd run, they make the elk migrate. That allows the vegetation to recover. Once we kill the wolves, the elk ate all the vegetation. The creeks have dried up 2 miles in Yellowstone since we killed the wolves. And now that they put the wolves back, you got elk moving again, so the trees have come back, the birds have come back, the beaver have come back. And when the elk run, if you got a wolf behind you, you don't trot, you run. And they poke holes in the ground and aerate the ground. So first time in 20 years that wolves now are making elk stronger, the trees are stronger, the birds are back, the fish are getting cold water, the beaver are returning, and the wolves kill coyotes. So they've killed almost 80% of the coyotes in some areas. And the coyotes, without the wolf around, have taken over and they're eating all the rabbits and squirrels. So now the badgers and fishers and like the Canadian lynx, they're specialists. They need snowshoe hare. And once the coyotes ate all the hare, the lynx disappeared. If we can get politicians to understand that, we might have hope for the future. But they just understand money. So by ignoring them is what showed leadership. And so if you walk in with kids, you ignore them because they get quiet. Good teachers know that. If you yell at the kid every time he yells, they yell back. And us guys try to do that. It doesn't work very well. And by ignoring them, walking in, and just having your head up like you did, that shows leadership. And it's a good way to avoid conflict. So when we leave, we do the exact same thing. If you pet them on the way out, they'll try to go out the gate with you. They think you're inviting them out. And of course, you're going to shut the gate in their face, and they're going to look at you like you're a liar. Why did you tell me I could go play, and now I can't? Gives them anxiety. But works with dogs. This is all horse behavior we've learned working with horses. And it works with people. If you get really good, you can do it on your spouse. But we can sit here all day, and they probably won't come back. So if you had a wolf as a pet, what would you want to do? Pet it. You walk in, you get this exuberant greeting in the morning. You guys didn't get too much of a greeting because you're not family yet. They got to get to know you. But when you walk in your family, you'll get that face in your face. It's like a big morning hug. And then the rest of the day, you can't touch them. It'd be like me running around shaking your hand 10 times. First couple times, okay. After that, stop it. If I kept trying to shake your hand, you get annoyed. So people get a wolf as a pet and get this greeting, and then they try to go pet it and gets up and walks away. And you go walk over and you pet it again, it walks away. And if you keep trying to pet it, it finally growls at you, stop it. You know, it's not mean. They don't attack you like a dog does. But that's when most people can't handle them. And they keep trying to pet it, and it's, you know, you're in my house, this is my yard, and ends up usually at the dead end.
More like the cat behavior, where
Very
the cat
similar,
will come up when it wants petted.
Yep.
Otherwise, you know, leave her alone.
And if you got somebody that really wants to pet them, they will not come to you.
Yeah.
And if you got somebody that I don't want anywhere near me, you're on their head, just like a cat.
Yes.
You know, so, Who's that, Debbie?
Zebra.
Oh, Zeb. Oh, it's good to say hi. So usually each new person is like a new dignitary entering. They got to go say hi, show their respect. Zeb knows Trish well. He looked at her, was like, "You don't have food. I'm out of here." So he's off for the day, and he'll probably sleep a good part of it now. How you doing today, Trish?
Pretty good.
I heard your call, but I wanted to get things going. We're going to try to light up the big bonfire down bottom, just so you're in the loop.
Okay.
So tonight, let's make sure we all, and I've asked Eric and I guess Dax is not going to be here. So, and one of the things, Trish, I just mentioned it to Dax, we need to have that food in that puppy arrive. So we got to do something. I always think that we'll be back Thursday night because I got enough for that night, Friday morning.
Okay.
We should probably go to efforts to.
Should we just do a special run?
We might just run into Rusty and grab some, just some of the basic parts, and then I thought today I might call and see if we can find some fresh goat smoke that either we pick up Friday morning or maybe get tomorrow night. But if we don't get food back until noon, on
You hear that
Friday,
chirping? Those are hummingbirds.
and I need to talk to all of them as to what kind of food he's going to have. Because it's, he kind of makes it up quick. I'm assuming he's going to put a little bit on the food, and it's one of the probably think he's gonna be able to bring enough to keep it refrigerated, you know, 'cause it's spoiled pretty fast. And he's got it in goat milk and all that crap. I think it's an iron. This year, he's just getting all the love. Because he's 2 years old. And it's kind of like a human when we hit 21, don't tell me what to do. So we become independent. A bear becomes independent at about 6 months to a year. So you can have a bear in your house for about 6 months. After that, it starts getting challenging. After a year, they'll get go. And a wolf won't mature for 3 years. So people get a wolf and it acts just like a dog for the first 2 years. Oh boy, make you happy. But you know, it's like a kid. When they mature, don't tell me what to do. And when a wolf matures at 3, that's when, you know, all they think about is one thing: food. You know, and if they get your couch in their mouth, you don't take it away. You can imagine the conflict that people get in. But that seems to be the difference. As a dog at 16 acts like a wolf puppy. They can go from home to home, pack to pack. Okay, want to make you happy. Any baby will try to please you. But when they hit adult and mature, that's a different kind of dog. That's when most people call us the 2 to 3. Ate the house, ate the yard, ate the fridge. Ate the neighbor's cat.
Now they blow their coat in the
Yep.
summer.
And that's where, this is a grandpa who's 14 years old, and just like us, our hair gets weird as we get old. The black wolf that was here, he's 9, and you can see how gray he's gotten. He was jet black as a puppy, and just like we silver out, so did the wolves. So this little girl here, you can see the real shiny black fur underneath. So that's the brand new fur coat that's coming out for next year. All that reddish fur is last year's coat. That's now bleached in the spring sun, brittle, and it's falling out, so that's the long hair. And then you see the charcoal tufts of fur. That's that charcoal gray undercoat. That's probably where they get the nickname the gray wolf. And whether you're a black wolf, a tan wolf, a white wolf, you have a gray undercoat. And Abe, he's, you know, in the wild they only live 6, 7, 8 years if you're lucky. We've had a couple make it to 10 in the wild, and that's rare. In captivity, they get food, vet care, they'll live twice as long. And that's one of the problems, is his hair isn't shedding out as well. And he's got a pretty nasty tumor. It's been growing on his left rear leg for about 2 years now. It's unoperable, it's a nasty one. And we'd have to cut his whole leg off, which would be like taking your 95-year-old grandpa and amputating his leg. And the recovery from that's going to be harder than dealing with the problem. And then once you touch it, usually they just blow up, and we'll take the animal down within 6 months. So we're just letting him live out as best as he can. And you can see he just loves people. He was found on the streets of Salt Lake as a young pup, wild, feral, scavenging food. And because he had the long nose, slanted eyes, the right coloration, narrow elbows, no beef bars, red toes, the tail doesn't touch the ground, he's got that black scent gland right on his tail. Those are all wolf characteristics. So by physical observation, they knew they had a baby wolf puppy that was running to the streets, scavenging food, and of course they came and adopted him. And in a dog shelter, he was adopted. So we took him in as a wolf. He was adopted by wolves, rescued as a wolf, and grew up to be a dog. And of course we didn't know until about a year old when he grew into that head and feet, and then he stopped growing. And you can see how small his head is compared to like the wolf. And yet he is dominant enough, and that's where you get that aggressive behavior. Humans have taught dogs to attack dogs, we've taught dogs to attack people. And they're one of the only species that protects and holds their own, just like humans. Wolves generally don't do that except under customers. So you get that aggressive dog behavior. And Abe is such a hothead. He dominated wolves for 14 years. He's raised probably 20 of them here. And he had a girl that helped him, and they were, you know, partners. They were the dominant pair who lived together. It'd be like you having a 70-year.
Oh, is this lazy time?
I get this lazy time.
And that's what happened when his girl was 16. She died last year, leaving him here.
Oh.
And he's got this big
Lazy
obnoxious
time,
son that he
right?
adopted. And try to imagine you adopt a kid that goes through twice your physical sense as a teenager. Yeah.
You just love our dog. Honor
Oh.
deal.
And they knock you down when you play football. And they quickly learn that, hey, this is fun. I can sack that.
Don't give any ideas.
They've had to really keep it together because usually if you get overzealous, the bigger one will knock you down. You have to do a good, freedom. But if you guys are willing, why don't we go ahead on out? So when we stand up, we'll just walk out like we walked in, and Dax will show you the rest of the place. And afterwards, you can walk around, take pictures, and if you get bored, we'll push you to work. Did they tell you what you get if you put in 2 weeks? So did they tell you what you get if you put in 2 weeks working here? Two. Yeah. If you put in 2 months, you get a teacher. But when you get people that work together because they enjoy it, it's a lot.
That was awesome.
Wasn't it? Isn't that pretty cool?
Dax will show you on down to the other half of the wolves and then afterward.
Columbine.
So what you guys are seeing right here is called our paw dome. What do you guys think we call it our paw dome? Is it a dome? She got some planters. Oh, okay. See, it's in the shape of a paw. Yeah. Yeah. Right behind you guys, we got some koi fish. They're actually very important to how we do things around here. You know, we have flies and bugs that fly in and land on that water, and those fish eat the water and they poop it out. And we feed these plants that water, hand-fed aquaponics, so they get the nutrients they need through the fish that we either, you know, it's either poop or extra fish food is always good for the soil as well. But what's very interesting about these domes is they work completely by themselves. These hydraulic cylinders that you guys see like attached to the windows there's actually an animal byproduct that expands and contracts when heat is applied. So throughout the day you'll see the windows open more or be open all the way and closed, you know. Traps the humidity in here. We have light come in through the open windows, or the actual dome itself breaks off of this mesh and allows it not to burn so much. But what do you guys think would be in those cylinders right there, or in the, you know, the hydraulics in there to be able to let these windows open and close by themselves? Nothing? It's an animal byproduct.
Cows produce nothing.
True, they do. Just saying. It's actually beeswax.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very interesting.
So heat makes it expand. Essentially.
Yeah, expand, and then when it gets colder, it contracts.
Okay.
Other than that, like, we're 9,000 feet up here, so we have issues growing some plants. We have a lot of cold snaps that roll through here, or we'll have a drought that happens. So we grow inside of our domes, and we're, you know, allows us to grow fig or other exotic plants, all the way down to stuff that aren't so exotic, like cilantro or tomatoes. Yeah, so you guys have any questions about these domes at all? No?
It was awesome.
No? Another reason why we grow outside is because we got wolves here, right? Coyotes aren't hanging, so we have a problem with a lot of rabbits and squirrels and stuff like that that will eat the vegetation that is produced outside. We got a couple of raised beds that we can grow up, like stuff like garlic grows out here. You know, we'll just have some basic fruit and vegetables that'll grow. Fruits don't do very well. Tried a couple of apple trees. They didn't fathom up here in 9,000 feet. If you guys are aware, a lot of trees won't grow above 7,500 feet elevation. Other than what you guys see, like pine, aspens, mountain mahogany, shrub oak, stuff like that. You know, it's nothing beautiful, but we're still getting oxygen, right?
Right.
Yeah. All right. What do you guys think? You guys want to see some more wolves? We've got some rain going on. I could explain to you guys what we feed out and how we feed out in here, so we minimize the rain. And then once we go past the bones that I would have usually showed you guys.
What are these metal rectangles right there?
Growing? For growing?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it'll grow up. We'll take them off and you'll put them over here or whatever, and yeah, you can have vine grow up them.
Okay.
We also use it to hang mesh too, so we'll hang that mesh on there. If you guys are watching what I'm doing, I'm just spinning this fur, and yeah, it like breaks it upon itself, and a little wolf fur bracelet or necklace or whatever.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
that's awesome. So she will.
Cool.
Whoever wants it to keep it. But anyway, so the food that we feed here, we maintain a good relationship with the ranchers here. We also have a greater Amish population here, and these people hold herd animals, right? They got horses and cows and goats and stuff like that. We don't feed out pig, we'll feed out salmon. But yeah, so if a horse breaks its leg, or if it dies from frostbite or like freeze to death at nighttime, or just gets too old and keels over, we take those donations, and as opposed to it going into a landfill and attract other predators in places that you don't want them, they donate to us. And we utilize everything except for the mane and the hooves. They don't eat the hooves, they don't eat the mane. We don't feed them out the guts, but we'll feed them out the heart and other organs to get those nutrients that they get. And if they eat bones, then we got to give them hide. They crush these bones, they brush their teeth with the marrow, and then what the hide does is scrubs their teeth like it and polishes it. And what also happens is that it traps those bone shards internally and allows them to process it. If we don't feed out bones, we don't feed out hide, and that's only to like really, really older wolves that we have here. All the wolves that you guys see here now, they can have bones and hide, but last year we had a girl named Daisy that was about 16, 17 years old and just too old and wasn't able to digest that. But yeah, mostly it's cows, horses, roadkill, so if somebody hits a deer on the side of the highway, then the sheriffs will call us and we'll pick it up. What's also great about that is those parts that we don't use, like the hooves and like some of the guts and stuff like that, attracts the predators to stay in this general area. As opposed to, we have a bear problem where at least twice a summer, somebody's house is getting raided by a bear. But they kind of just stay out here, so the community out here locally appreciates that we keep all the predators around this area. We'll walk by, we'll see this giant horse skull that you guys are going to think is a dinosaur or a buffalo. It's actually a Percheron. The Amish use them to pull buggies and plows and stuff like that, and we have a great relationship with them, so if one of their huge horses goes down, they also donate it to us, which is great. But yeah, let's go down towards the visitor center, and we can go inside, and I could show you Flash and Shirai from inside so we don't get rained on. If you guys would like that. That's fine. Cool.
I think you got the best advice.
Right. Down.
Yeah.
So this skull over here is what the giant skull he was talking about earlier. That's the Percheron. Before it starts to pour again, does anyone know what that middle skull is right there? So,
I'd like to say goat, but
yeah, it's actually a 4-horned goat. There's a breeder somewhere around here that every once in a while will donate down to us. Don't know where that is, but yeah.
4-horned goat. Yeah.
That's
Never heard of such a thing.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You guys can see them right when we walk in here. Since it's not really raining, you guys see Shariah, and then on top of that that structure over there, you'll see Flash. Shariah, she's called our April Fool's baby. She was born April 1st, 2017. 2 years old. She's a puppy in a sense. And she's actually really, I'm gonna say wild. She's got really wild instincts, you know. Do you guys remember Rosie and Tiger when we were on the bridge? The brother and sister wolf that were sitting there? They're pretty wolfy, right? And pretty old when it comes to wolf standards. They put her in there thinking that she was going to be a good pair. Tiger was like, oh, she's cute, she could stay, right? Rosie got trapped in a den the whole time. This 1-year-old wolf was pushing around this full-grown female. And so she got put here on this little bachelorette pad. Until this winter, we were fortunate enough to get Flash. He's 25% everything, 25% Malamute, 25% Husky, 25% Shepherd, 25% Wolf. When we got him, he was pretty wolfy. He was very timid. Did not want to approach anybody. So his phenotype actually showed that he was very wolfy. And we got here in Shariah. She's been here since she was a puppy. She didn't like really anybody. She would let 2 staff members really approach her and touch her. And we thought that they were just going to be this very antisocial, introverted couple, but the complete opposite happened when we put them in together. Some kind of confidence built up, and we probably come up with each and every one of you individually now, and so will he, which is great. Interesting how stuff acts like that in the wild. But yeah, I'll pop in here. I'll show you some, show you our visitor center. This is our visitor center. Everything in here goes 100% back to the wolves. If you guys wanted, the best way to help out here is to sponsor a wolf or purchase something in the visitor center and make a donation. Everything is nonprofit, right? So that's how we survive out here. Other than that, this is a pretty funny timeline I could show you guys. Do you guys recognize this person over on the right?
The director?
That's on the left.
Okay.
The right.
Mr. Rogers?
Is that
That's
Mr. Rogers?
Yeah. Yeah. Kent was on Mr. Rogers. He was on an episode to show things that weren't scary. So, like, right before the segment with the puppy wolves, there was Mr. Rogers vacuuming himself, showing kids that he couldn't get sucked up in a vacuum. But yeah, so Kent was telling you guys about how they want to say hi. They want to jump up and sniff your teeth. This is an example of what they would do. So, these wolves were jumping up and getting bloody lips and making people's noses bleed and stuff like that. So no, that's why we sit down and let them approach you that way. This guy, Jeff Rottler, he did a walk for the wolves all the way from Yellowstone down to here. That was basically an educational kind of research project for him to basically show how hard it would be for a wolf to naturally get down to the Colorado mountains through population and transit systems. And then this right here, all the way on the right, this is Kent's wife, Tracy. When they took these 2 packs of 15 wolves and they put them into Yellowstone, they opened a gate and they were like, all right, go ahead. These wolves were like, no, never been here before. I just woke up, so we're not leaving. So she went up there and they got a team together that actually took the sides down for these wolves to actually naturally leave. Yeah, that's the end of my tour. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Other than that, if you guys want to sign our visitor's log and make any comments about the tour or anything, let me know.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
And
Yes.
if you guys stick around, you guys can just pretty much meander wherever you guys want to. Just stay on the paths that I showed you guys and don't go through any gates. Of course, and that's it.
Okay.
You have anything